People always say family never turns on you. They're wrong because mine did. And it all started with a necklace I never touched and a lie I never saw coming. One minute, I was pouring orange juice at my sister's birthday brunch. The next, she stood up in front of everyone, pointed at me, and said, "She stole my $9,000 necklace." Laughter stopped. Forks froze midair. And suddenly, I wasn't Sophia the daughter who paid the bills. I was Sophia the thief. The liar. The shame of the family. They kicked me out that same night. No warning, no suitcase, just one bag and a door slammed shut. What they didn't know, I had been paying for everything. Their rent, their electricity, even my sister's college tuition. And when I walked away, I didn't just take my things. I took their entire foundation with me. This is the story of how they tried to ruin me, and how, piece by piece, they ended up tearing down their own world instead. My name is Sophia, and I'm 28 years old. If you had told me a few months ago that my own sister would accuse me of stealing a $9,000 necklace just to humiliate me in front of our entire family, I would have laughed. Not because she wasn't capable of something that cruel, but because I never thought she'd actually go that far. But she did. And what came after? That's what no one saw coming. Let me take you back to the morning everything fell apart. It was Sunday. Sunny. Warm. One of those lazy days where the outside world feels calm. But inside our house, there was a storm building. And I didn't even know it yet. Lena, my younger sister, had invited everyone over for brunch. She had balloons, champagne flutes, fancy plates, and even hired someone to take photos for Instagram. I thought it was a bit much, but I helped her anyway, like I always did. Because that's who I was. The quiet one. The helper. The reliable daughter. I had been the one quietly paying our electricity bills, our internet, even a mortgage when Dad lost his job. I never told anyone. I didn't need the credit. I just wanted peace in our home. I even paid for Lena's college tuition, directly through her school using my salary. She didn't know. I did it to protect her, to keep our family strong. Turns out, I was only making it easier for them to betray me. That morning, everyone was laughing at the table. Mimosas were being passed around. Lena was showing off a new designer handbag. Then she stood up, tapped her glass with a spoon, and said, "Before we go any further, I just want to say something important." I thought she was going to thank everyone or announce an internship. But no. She looked right at me and said, "I know this is awkward, but Sophia stole my $9,000 necklace, the gold one Grandma gave me. I've been looking for it for weeks. And yesterday, I found it hidden in her drawer." My heart stopped. The room went silent. And then, just like that, everyone believed her. No one even asked if it was true. My mother gasped, "I knew it. I knew you were always jealous of Lena." My father shook his head and refused to meet my eyes. I stood there, frozen, shaking, trying to speak, but the words never came. I hadn't stolen anything. And yet, in one moment, I became the liar, the thief, the disgrace. They told me to leave that very night. No suitcase, no goodbye, just one bag and my laptop. They didn't know what I was really about to do. They didn't know that I was the one holding their lives together. But they were about to find out. That night, I didn't cry. I should have. But when someone you love stabs you in the back, the pain is too sharp for tears. I sat in the tiny guest room at my friend Mia's apartment, staring at the ceiling, trying to breathe. She offered me a place to crash, no questions asked. I didn't tell her everything, just that there had been a fight and I needed. But deep inside, something flipped. For 4 years, I'd been paying bills for a house I didn't even own. I covered Lena's private college tuition while she posted beach photos with captions like, "Blessed to be Daddy's favorite." I paid for groceries, repairs, even Mom's salon appointments when she said her card wasn't working. And what did I get in return? A public accusation. No defense. Not a single person even asked why I would do such a thing. I was guilty because blaming me was easy. That night, I opened my laptop and logged into all my online accounts. And one by one, I started cutting the wires that held their lives together. I stopped the auto payments for the mortgage. I canceled the monthly utility transfers. I pulled the plug on Lena's tuition payments. Every last cent. The house was still in my father's name. The bank statements still went to my mother's email. They'd figure it out soon enough. And when they did, I wouldn't be there. I didn't leave a note. I didn't send a warning. I just disappeared. And for the first time in years, I felt free. No weight on my shoulders. No one calling my name to fix their mess. No one treating me like I owed them everything. But that peace? It didn't last long. Because within 10 days, chaos came knocking. 10 days after I left, I got a message from an unknown number. Did you cancel the electricity? The power's out. Internet's dead too. Lena has midterms. Fix this. No, hello. No, how are you? Just all caps shouting through a phone screen like I was still sitting in the next room, waiting to clean up their mess. I didn't reply. The next day, my dad called. I didn't pick up. Then he sent a voice message. His tone wasn't angry. It was confused. Sophia, listen. I'm not sure what's going on with the bills. We're getting calls from the electric company, the gas company, even the school. Lena's saying her classes are frozen because of some payment issue. Just call me back, okay? I almost laughed. Payment issue. They still had no idea I'd been the one handling everything. By day 12, my inbox was flooded with spam from their providers, past due notices, disconnection warnings, and alerts that Lena's tuition portal had locked her out for non-payment. By day 14, they finally figured it out. That's when my mom showed up at Mia's apartment building. How she found the address, I still don't know. I didn't let her in. I watched through the peephole as she banged on the door for 5 minutes straight, screaming, "You ungrateful brat. We gave you everything. You think walking away makes you strong? It makes you pathetic." She didn't know. She didn't know they were the ones who had taken everything from me. She didn't know I had been paying for the air she breathed and the food she plated for her Instagram stories. And I wasn't going to explain it. But life has a funny way of letting the truth out, even when you stay silent. Because just 2 days later, I got a message that changed everything. It came from Jasmine, our neighbor. And it came with proof. Jasmine had always been kind. She lived 2 houses down from us, a middle-aged single mom who ran a small photography business. When we were little, she babysat Lena and me when our parents were too busy. I hadn't spoken to her in months. So when her name popped up in my DMs, I almost ignored it. But the message preview stopped me cold. "Sophia, I need to show you something. I heard what Lena did to you, and I have proof she lied." My heart started pounding. I opened the message. She had attached an audio clip. It started with faint laughter, girls' voices, music in the background. Then Lena's voice, clear as day. Of course I planted it in her drawer. I needed people to see her for what she is. Mom always says Sophia acts so perfect, but let's see how perfect she looks when she's kicked out. I froze. My ears rang. My hands went cold. She admitted it. She planted the necklace. Framed me. Lied in front of our entire family, just to humiliate me. Jasmine sent another message. She was talking to her friend outside in the backyard. I had my camera running for a shoot. The mic picked it up. I didn't realize what she was saying until I played it back last night. I sat there, stunned. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. But mostly I wanted them to feel what they made me feel. I asked Jasmine if I could use the clip. She replied, "I already emailed it to Lena's university. Someone like her shouldn't get away with something that cruel." And just like that, the first crack appeared in Lena's perfect little world. 3 days later, she was called into a disciplinary meeting. Her Instagram went dark. No brunch pics. No makeup tutorials. Just silence. Meanwhile, my mom's Facebook shifted from bragging about her daughters to posting vague inspirational quotes about family betrayal. I didn't need to show up. I didn't need to say a single word. The truth was already working on its own. And I was just getting started. By the time Lena's second disciplinary hearing came around, word had spread. Jasmine's audio clip hadn't just gone to the dean. It got shared in group chats, then posted to a student forum. People were whispering in hallways. Her professors looked at her differently. And suddenly, the golden girl who bragged about brand deals and top grades was the campus joke. She tried damage control, of course. She posted a long, dramatic Instagram caption about family drama and misunderstandings, along with a black and white photo of herself crying, probably fake tears. She turned off the comments. But it was too late. The truth had already taken root. And then came the final blow. The university suspended her for academic dishonesty and a code of conduct violation. Not just for framing me, but because this wasn't her first offense. Apparently, she had plagiarized a paper last semester and got off with a warning. This time, they weren't letting it slide. She came home crying. Mom went into panic mode. Dad looked like a ghost, sitting in silence, drinking coffee like it was water. The house, once loud and flashy, had turned quiet and cold. And the twist? They couldn't pay for anything anymore. The mortgage hadn't been paid in over a month. Utilities were shut off one by one. Mom called the power company in a rage, only to learn the account was under my name and had been permanently closed. They had no savings, no backup plan, because they had always counted on me. Meanwhile, I was thriving. My boss, Mr. Landon, had noticed how focused and dependable I'd been, despite it all. He offered me a promotion and the opportunity to relocate to a brand new city. "You deserve a fresh start," he said. And so I moved. A sunny apartment on the 12th floor of a downtown high-rise. No yelling. No cold shoulders. No betrayal. Just me, finally breathing. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel guilty. Not one bit. 2 weeks after I settled into my new place, I got a call from someone I hadn't heard from in years, Aunt Rachel. She was my mom's older sister, the one who left town after a huge fight with my parents when I was a kid. Back then, they told me she was unstable and jealous of our family success. Turns out, they were just terrified of what she knew. "Hey, sweetie," she said warmly. "I saw your name in that college forum story. I've been following quietly, and I think it's time you knew something." I was confused. She continued, "Your grandmother, your dad's mom, left a trust fund in her will. It was meant for you. Just you." I sat up straighter. "What your parents didn't tell you. After she died, they convinced the lawyer not to notify you. Said you were too young and that they'd manage it until you were older. But that money was never theirs." My heart raced. How much are we talking about? Just over $85,000. It was supposed to help you start your life, college, business, whatever you wanted. I only found out because I ran into the lawyer again recently. He assumed you already knew. I was speechless. They lied. They stole my future. All those years I was struggling to help them, and they were hiding money that was mine. Aunt Rachel helped me contact the lawyer and file a formal request. Within weeks, I had full access to the trust. It was real. Every last cent. That night, as I transferred the funds into my own name, I felt something deep inside me close, like a wound I didn't even realize had been open for years. This wasn't revenge. This was justice. And I knew exactly what I was going to do next. With the $85,000 trust fund finally in my hands and my full-time job now paying more than ever, I didn't just feel free. I felt limitless. For years, I worked in silence. I paid their bills, fixed their problems, stayed invisible. Now I wanted to be seen on my own terms. That's when I had an idea. I used part of the money to launch a YouTube channel, Money Made Simple with Sophia. I filmed it in my small but bright apartment. My first video was called, "They Called Me a Thief, but I was the one paying their bills." It blew up overnight. Thousands of people, especially women, started commenting. "This is my story too. You're so brave for walking away. They don't deserve you." I started teaching financial basics. How to budget. How to spot toxic financial manipulation. How to leave when you're being used. Sponsors started reaching out. So did podcasts and blogs. My story became more than just mine. It became a voice for people who were tired of being the family doormat. And my parents? They eventually sold the house. Couldn't afford to keep it without my income. Lena tried starting a new social media account pretending to be some kind of self-care coach. It didn't last. No one forgot what she did. Reputation is harder to rebuild than a bank account. One day, I got a text from my mom. Just 5 words. "Can we please talk, Sophia?" I never replied, because I no longer needed closure from people who once threw me out like garbage. I had found my peace. Now, every time I turn on my camera, every time I press upload, I remember the moment she said I stole her necklace. And I smile. Because in trying to tear me down, they built the strongest version of me I've ever known. They kicked me out. So I built a kingdom. And this time, no one is allowed to steal it. It's been almost a year now. A full year since I was kicked out of my childhood home with nothing but a backpack and a bruised heart. A year since I was called a liar, a thief, and a burden by the very people I had been sacrificing everything for. Funny how life works. Back then, I thought I was losing everything. But really, I was being set free. Now I wake up every morning in a place that's quiet, clean, and peaceful. My apartment overlooks the city skyline. I drink my coffee by the window while answering emails from clients and collaborators who respect me. I've gained over 600,000 subscribers on YouTube. I've spoken at conferences, been invited on podcasts, and helped thousands of people, especially women, cut financial ties with toxic families and start over. Sometimes I hear through extended family that my parents watch my videos, and apparently even Lena watches now. They're all shocked that I turned out this way. But the truth is, I didn't turn out this way. I was always this woman. They just never looked closely enough to see me. And now, they can watch me from afar. They can sit in the silence I once lived in. They can feel the absence of the person who kept their lights on, their fridge full, their name clean. I don't hate them. I don't even wish them harm. But I do hope they understand this much. When you bury someone in lies, they don't disappear. Sometimes they bloom. And that is how I turned their betrayal into my breakthrough. They tried to destroy me with lies. But I walked away and built a life they can only watch from a distance. So if you've ever been blamed for something you didn't do, if you've ever been used by the people who should have protected you, just know this. Walking away isn't weakness. Sometimes, it's the most powerful thing you can do. Thank you for watching my story. If this spoke to you, if it echoed something in your heart, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Because the next story? It's even more shocking.